Hello everyone, my name is Daisy Kemigisha and I'm a student at Makerere University pursuing a master's in agriculture and applied economics. The title of my study is Drivers of Youth Participation in Groundnut Valley Chains in Tororo and Nwoya districts, Uganda. Just a brief introduction is that groundnut is a staple food for most Ugandans, and given Uganda's conducive climate and ready market, new varieties are often being released. But we still see youth unemployment remaining high, even though the government has tried to intervene by issuing soft loans and grants to youth to invest in agriculture activities. These interventions have highly been unsuccessful because of the lack of empirical understanding of what actually attracts and repels the youth to participate in agriculture. So the goal of this study is to establish the incentives and disincentives for youth participation at the different levels of the groundnut value chain. For this study, 15 youth aged 20 to 24 and 25 to 29 years were selected from Nwoya and Tororo districts, 15 youth per district. And the Photovoice method was used to collect the data, whereby the participants were given phones at the beginning of the study and tasked to capture the different groundnut value chain activities from planting, land clearing, to harvesting, to distribution, to marketing, etc. And from this, there were several themes that emerged, highlighting the incentives and disincentives of youth participation in groundnut value chains. Thematic content analysis was used to analyze the data using a software called Atlas T version 6. Since the research is still going on, these are just some preliminary results. The major themes that emerged from the focus group discussions include land size, whereby a youth having more land is more likely to grow groundnuts, and working more hours is a disincentive for youth because we know that they are more interested in leisure and activities that require less of their time. A youth owning their own land is more likely to grow groundnuts, and easy access to extension services and being a member of a farmer group is also an incentive for participation in groundnut value chain. So from the focus group discussions, the youth were able to highlight some challenges which stood out as major disincentives for their participation in groundnut value chains. Photo 1 shows a challenge of pests and diseases. According to participant 10, a male participant in Nwoya district, he discovered that his plant had been attacked by the rosette earlier on, but it survived, and such occurrences usually drive the youth from producing groundnuts for the fear of the losses that come along with diseases. Photo 2 shows a challenge of inadequate storage equipment, whereby, according to participant 6, a male participant in Nwoya district, this lady, after harvesting several bags of her harvest, stored them on her bed because she didn't have pallets. And this lack of appropriate storage usually leads to losses through theft, which discourages many youth from participating in groundnut value chain activities. And then photo 3 shows another problem of unreliable electricity, whereby, according to participant 5, a male participant in Tororo district, load shedding is a major problem in processing, whereby electricity keeps going on and off, and it's even expensive, cutting into their profits. And this obviously is a disincentive for youth to participate in processing of groundnuts. So under the discussion, most of the youth from the results in Nwoya district could only access 0.25 acres of land, while a few in both districts could only access 1 acre, which is not enough land to motivate them to grow groundnuts. And then a few youth in Nwoya district had received training on how to use organic fertilizer, which shows how inadequate extension services are, and yet they are crucial to equipping youth with agronomic practices essential in groundnut value chain activities. And then the FGD responses also showed the time spent on various groundnut value chain activities, which showed that the youth are more involved in the activities that require the least time. And then youth who belong to a farmer group also have easier access to resources like groundnut stores and extension services and demonstration plots, etc. So in conclusion, increasing access to extension services, membership in farmer groups, land and inputs like electricity storage facilities is likely to drive youth to engage more in groundnut value chains. And lastly, we can see that youth are more drawn to those projects that are quick pay back and also demand the least of their time. Thank you for listening.